My name is Flick Del Perno. Have you ever stopped to wonder to yourself, why did the United States government decide to start changing their quarters? Why, in fact, do they place pictures of the states of America on each individual card? Have you ever stopped to wonder that? Because I did. Now, there's an important trick to it all, and I'm about to tell you. Okay? Because I want you to know.
Flick Del Turno and the Del Turno family last spring, teamed up with government official Rob Michaels.
When Flick came to me last spring with this idea of his, this quote-unquote idea of his, I said, Flick, right out, I said, Flick, this is not gonna fly. The president does not want this to occur. That was not the intention when the mint started making the new coins.
Flick was internally depressed about this fact when I brought it up to him. He didn't believe me about Mr. President and his reaction, but he was wrong. But so was I.
After my development with Mr. President and Rob Michaels, we came to terms with the truth about the latest development of quarters. Here, if we look pretty closely, we can see Maryland and New Hampshire. Now, when I came with my idea, Rob told me flat out that the president wouldn't think it would fly, but I told him that maybe he would, in fact, think it flies.
The following is a picture of Mr. President's reaction, in which he exclaimed the words, "Goose feathers."
Words of disagreement, things I don't think the president meant to say were exchanged. Words such as hogwash and horse piddle. Now, I will agree, the Del Turno idea presented to us by Flick himself was a crazy one. It was an outrageous thing. It would have been taking the economy and social, spending and intertwining it with governmental issues. Now, when I look at the Maryland coin here, I don't see the same thing that Flick Del Turno sees or saw. I saw a quarter. He saw an investment and an increase in today's, board game industry.
After some time of working on the idea with the two government officials, we came up with a moderation of my original idea, and we designed this here, this board for the game that I was planning on. It is a game of strategic alliance and battlement. It creates the situation where you choose up to 6 different colonies or states of your own and place them in the pre-battle zone area. The other player choosing the same thing, and then with the help of dice and good rules, you move together until they would get into the battle arena, and then you work out a strategic plan to take down the opponent using information such as the state flag, the state bird, and the flower. And with a series of trivia questions, you could, for instance, beat the opponent. That was basically the idea.
Here, a close-up look of the original Del Turno prototype of the board. Over here in this corner are the 6 spaces for the 6 states in which you place your quarters. Here in this column is the preparatory space for the Battle of Coins. You roll the dice and the player moves from his original point to this point. And the same thing repeated on this side. Here is the battle arena marked with the striped space. When the quarters get into the battle arena, the player draws a card from the card pile, which is just a little glance over here, and depending on whether they answer the questions correctly or not, they win or lose specific colonies or states.
And now a word with the President of the United States of America.
It gives me great pleasure to be the President of the United States of America. Hillary, could you just step out of the room for a moment? Being the President of the United States of America is not an easy job, let me tell you. And when someone presents an idea like Flick Del Turno's, I was cautious.
Nah, Mr. President, you no.
Flick had convinced me to put the game on the market. Sales rocketed. And when I mean rocket, I mean like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fasten your seatbelt. We're going to outer space type of rocket. And I think the president, you just saw a videotape of the two in action playing the game. The president was clearly thrilled. He enjoys the game a lot. He has said to me that him and his wife Hillary play the game just before they go to bed. It helps them relax. It soothes their souls, basically. I think that was actually that is exactly what the president said. He said it soothes his soul because of the process of being strategical in the mind. And when I say strategical, I basically just mean strategic. It causes endorphins. After a certain amount of time, I believe the Dr. Edwin Sumayer said the endorphins begin to flow and one becomes intoxicated by the intellectualization of creating strategies.
Yeah, okay, pause. I never said anything like that. In fact, that is a complete fallacy.
Well, actually, I believe you did.
Well, you can believe whatever the fuck you want to, but I didn't say it.
Hold down the fort for me, boys. I'm gonna go get a bite.
So, Flick, how do you feel about the outcome of this situation?
Overall, it was basically a good thing. I mean, I argue with the president, but I think the intimidation of my words got him to take my advice. I said, don't make me give you a double noogie, 'cause you're on the road to a double noogie, Bill. And I think he responded real well to that, 'cause now I have my game, and the Del Turno name will live on for centuries, I think. As soon as all 100 coins, 50 coins are made, we're gonna come out with a sequel to the game. It's gonna be, I'm sure, a Skyrocket. We're gonna call it, I think, the Skyrocket Country Battle. This one is just called Old Country Buffet, but the second one's gonna be called Skyrocket Country Battle.